Hello and welcome to Data Risk Management Simplified. Today's awesome webinar is sponsored by Rubric and produced by Actual Tech Media. My name is Jess Steinbach with Actual Tech Media, and I am absolutely thrilled to be your moderator for this discussion. To start out the day, I want to draw your attention to one word in the webinar title, simplified, because that's really the key to why we're here today. Data risk management is not a new idea, and there's a number of strategies out there. But for a lot of organizations, their existing approaches are overly complicated and often leave their teams and platforms disconnected and siloed. This is not only frustrating, it's outright risky because these disconnects leave cracks in our security that can be easily exploited. So what's the answer? Well, let's simplify. And if you're out there right now thinking, yeah, sure, Jess, sounds great, but easier said than done, you are in luck. Because today I'm joined by Srijana Pudagunta, Senior Product Marketing Manager at Rubric, who's going to explain how Rubric can help you accurately assess data risk, identify any of those gaps, and best of all, take effective action from one single console. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am pretty amped up to learn more about this. So I'm going to just zip through a few important points and get us on our way today. Okay, first, I want to draw your attention, there we go, on over to the question section of your webinar console. Now, the absolute best part of an event like this is the chance to ask questions directly of an expert like we have with us here today. So make sure to get those questions in. And hey, if we're unable to get to your question in the live event, don't worry. The Rubric team will be following up with you after. A quick reminder that the questions console is also a great place to say hi, say hello to all the other awesome folks out there in the audience today. And you can also use that tab to connect with the Actual Tech Media team, especially if you have any technical issues during the session, knock on wood, of course. Now, don't forget that a browser refresh is going to get rid of any of those usual tech gremlins, but if it doesn't, shoot us a message in the question box there and we're happy to chat. Okay, skipping right along to that handout section right next to the questions tab in your console. You're going to see some exciting content to go along with the webinar today. There's a solution brief in there, a link to check out the Rubric site, and lots more. So be sure to explore and download for later. And hey, it's not just awesome content that we're giving away today. We also have a $300 Amazon gift card as a prize drawing at the end of our webinar. So stay tuned for that. Of course, you must be in attendance during the live event to qualify for the prize, and all winners must meet the Actual Tech Media prize terms and conditions. If you're not sure what those are, you go ahead on back to that handout section, click in, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll find the full T's and C's there. Now, I know that this crew will not need any additional nudging to ask questions today, but hey, we love curiosity here. So today we're actually giving away an additional $50 Amazon gift card to the best question asked during the webinar. Keep in mind that the team is reviewing all the questions asked after the event, which means that even if your question does not get read out live, there is still a chance to win. And as always, we will follow up with you after the event. Okay, team, now I know that you are just as impatient to get started as I am, so let's dive right in. I am so excited to introduce Srijana Pudagunta, Senior Product Marketing Manager at Rubric. Srijana, thank you so much for being here today. I know you have a lot of great content to cover, so I'm going to hand the mic on over to you.
Thanks, Jess, for the wonderful introduction, and I'm happy to be here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. My name is Srijana, and I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager at Rubric. At Rubric, we are the forefront of data protection and security innovations, and we're constantly pushing the envelope to secure your data. So today, I'm super excited to introduce to you our new offering called the Rubric Data Security Command Center, which helps you simplify data risk management and enhance your cyber resiliency. Today, we're going to discuss what's top of mind for enterprises in today's age of rampant security breaches and ransomware attacks. I believe this will resonate with you as it's something that's top of mind for almost every organization these days. And next, we'll talk about how you can solve some of these challenges using our new capability and what are some of the benefits of the command center. And finally, we'll look at an exciting demo to see how it all comes together. As you already know, there's been a steady rise in sophisticated security breaches and ransomware attacks. And as environments become increasingly spread out across hybrid, multi-cloud, attack vectors are continuing to expand and evolve. The big challenge is that enterprises are finding it difficult to secure their data due to siloed risk management. And what I mean by that is most organizations today, they have multiple teams using distinct and complicated tools to keep their data secure. And this is usually because their current security solutions do not provide them with one unified common view of their data security posture. And this leads them to some regular concerns such as, is our data safe? What data is at risk? Can we recover from a security incident such as a ransomware attack? Or is our only option to pay the ransom? How can we reduce data risks? Are we implementing industry best practices for safeguarding our data? We've had several customers express concerns on how they can overcome these challenges. And so imagine if you did have a way to tell whether your data is safe and able to recover from a cyber attack. What if you could find out what are the biggest threats to your data? And not just that, imagine if you could consistently get the guidance and best practices on what steps to take to improve your overall data security posture. Wouldn't that make our lives so much easier? And so let me tell you, that's exactly what Rubrik's been working on. I'm excited to introduce to you our new solution, Rubric Data Security Command Center. With Command Center, you can quickly assess whether your data is safe and protected and recoverable from a cyber attack. Let's see how you can do this. There are 3 key ingredients to the solution. The first is data observability for identifying and quantifying risks. Second is intelligent data risk management for automated risk mitigation. And the third is data resilience benchmarking to see how you're doing relative to your peers in the industry who are using Rubric. The combination of these 3 capabilities creates a powerful tool that can be used to understand data risks and remediate them. Let's dig deeper into each one of these to gain a better understanding. The first benefit is data observability, and as I mentioned earlier, it's about identifying and quantifying data risk. The Command Center scans and collects data across existing Rubric security configurations, access controls, audit logs, and any of Rubric's own services such as ransomware investigation and sensitive data discovery. And this means scanning for anomalies that were detected, any sensitive data that was discovered in your environment. And then the collected data is cleaned and converted into meaningful risk metrics. Each of the risk metrics are evaluated carefully against Rubric's best practices to determine risk scores. So the collection of scores across these 4 categories that you see on the screen, which are platform security, ransomware investigation, sensitive data discovery, and data protection recovery, they're combined to provide an overall data security score, which serves as a single source of truth for your entire Rubric environment. And then the score is presented in a simple SaaS-based dashboard. And you can also drill down into each of them and manage risks across these categories. And after you have used the dashboard for a while, you'll see that you can also monitor your score patterns over days, weeks, and months. The second benefit is intelligent data risk management, and it's all about reducing the identified risk with agility. The Command Center provides you with actionable recommendations for compliance and data risk mitigation. And as you implement those recommendations, you can see your score improving. An example will be a recommendation to enable SLA retention lock on your clusters or to use multi-factor authentication for all Rubric users to minimize the risk to your Rubric protected data. So instead of taking a siloed and a guesswork approach, Rubric provides actionable data-driven intelligence to maximize your data security. Additionally, all data security operations across your IT and security teams can be centrally managed using this dashboard for global visibility and collaborating across the teams. The third benefit is data resilience benchmarking. And it's all about how you're doing compared to other organizations to give you a sense of where you stand in terms of data security. The solution compares your risk profile against a standard industry baseline, and that in turn helps you create actionable steps to meet those standards. And all of this is done with anonymized data in a secure fashion. It also helps you report progress on data risk management initiatives across your Rubric environment to your team or to executives. And so you can generate and share data security reports with your internal security groups, GRC teams, etc. And you can help executives make informed security decisions and direct investments in areas that need the most attention. Okay, so at this point, you're probably wondering how this capability really works. So essentially, the command center scans and collects metrics from your CDM clusters, cloud workloads, and security applications like ransomware investigation or Radar, which was known as Radar previously. And it does this through existing built-in instrumentation, which means you don't have to install anything new. And these metrics are then piped to an analytics service running in the cloud via data pipelines, where it's analyzed, the data risk is quantified, recommended actions are aggregated, and benchmarking is performed against the anonymized data. And then these insights are presented to you on an actionable dashboard. We also have an automated action engine that we're building, which will drastically simplify the risk mitigation efforts required to improve your data security posture. All right, I bet you want to see it in action, so I have a cool demo lined up for you. Let's take a look at how this works.
Let me bring up my Data Security Command Center dashboard. I can see my data security score, which is 78.5 out of 100. It's a reflection of my data security posture and resiliency. Looks like I can do better. As we discussed earlier, this score is composed of multiple categories. I can view the individual scores to see how I'm doing on each one of them. Let's take a deeper look. The lowest score on my dashboard is ransomware investigation or Radar, which is 59.5. I definitely need to do better here. And my platform security score is 62.5. I need to improve this as well. Next, I'm going to drill down into ransomware investigation and see what's going on. It's telling me that my ransomware investigation or Radar service is disabled on one of my clusters. This is super helpful, something I wouldn't have caught for a long time. And look at this, it seems like I can take action to fix this issue right from here. Now let's take a quick peek into my platform security score as well. Looks like multi-factor authentication or MFA is disabled for some of my users. This is a cause of risk to my data. I would like all Rubric users to use MFA to avoid account compromises that can potentially lead to a breach. Let's click on the configure button and go with the recommendation provided to me. It's going to go ahead and enable multi-factor authentication for users that don't use it currently with a single click. So fast forward, I have now followed all the recommendations and tightened up my security controls. Now let's take a final look at the main dashboard. Boom, my platform security score went up 36 points from where it was before, and my ransomware investigation score went up 40 points. My overall data security score has also increased to 97.3. I've just made my security posture better with a few clicks all through a single console. Oh, and here's another really handy feature. It's also telling me that my sensitive data discovery score is in the 95th percentile. What it's doing is it's comparing my score with my peers that use Rubric all in an anonymized fashion. I can take this information and create actionable steps to further improve my data security posture. I believe 98th percentile is pretty good, so we are okay for now.
To summarize, the command center gives you the broadest perspective of what's happening to your data while mitigating expensive risks from an increasingly complex threat landscape. It can quickly help reduce your data risk and enhance your security posture. I'm very excited to announce that Command Center will be available to all customers starting from summer of 2022, and it can be accessed through the Rubric Management Console. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your time today. Thank you for joining us, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Srijana, thank you for that awesome presentation and for introducing us to the Rubric Data Security Command Center. What an exciting announcement. And we've got some great questions coming in from our audience already. Before we jump into those, Srijana, I'm wondering if you could elaborate a bit more on the actual business pain points that this solution will address for all the folks out there in the audience today.
Yeah, of course. Great question. So we all know that ransomware has been disrupting businesses like never before. And we have seen that security teams are reevaluating their overall security posture, and they're taking measures to secure their data. However, during this process, they're discovering that they don't know if their organization's data is fully secure and whether it'll even be available when they need it. And the problem with legacy security solutions is that they're quite expensive and they process slowly. And this does not allow them to react at the same speed as modern day attacks. And in the case of a security audit, or when you're trying to pull reporting for your executives, pulling the right information from a multitude of security tools can be really time consuming, especially when you're working with deadlines. And we've seen time and again that IT and security teams are finding it hard to tell if they're implementing best security practices and whether they're prepared to recover post-attack. But now with Data Security Command Center, you can actually see which data is at risk, and you can get actionable recommendations that are based on industry best practices, so you can reduce risk and improve your overall data security posture. And it also allows you to automate and simplify your data security workflows, such as risk assessment, risk mitigation, risk reporting, audits, etc., which are usually time consuming. And so with Data Security Command Center, you can save a ton of time to focus on other priorities.
I love that. Well, simplification is the theme of the day today, so that's perfect. Well, let's get into some of these audience questions here because we've got a lot of good ones. I like this one to start here. Okay, so Srijana, you mentioned in your presentation that the collected data was going to be cleaned and then converted into some meaningful risk metrics. We have a question here wanting to know what kind of risk metrics are used to measure the score, and specifically, could you give us some examples?
Sure, I can talk about some of them. So we currently have multi-factor authentication, and this metric measures the percentage of users which are local and AD that have been enabled with this feature. Then there is SLA retention lock. So SLA retention locks, they prevent users from accidentally or maliciously deleting snapshots. So this metric measures the percentage of SLAs that have been enabled with this lock. And we also have ransomware investigation enabled clusters. So basically, what it does is it measures the percentage of clusters that are enabled with the ransomware investigation feature. So and then there is SLA compliance as well. So at the heart of Rubrik's data management capabilities is the concept of SLA compliance, and it defines how often the objects are backed up, and when they're replicated or archived to the cloud, or how long the data is retained for. And so this metric measures the percentage of objects that have this SLA compliance over a 7-day period. And so, and then there are a couple more, and I could talk about this all day, but those are some of those.
Well, that's a great place to start. And does, having a variety of those metrics helps paint that full picture and really give you that clear idea. Okay, another great question here. Since you are providing industry benchmarking information, does that mean that my risk metrics are being shared openly?
No, so your information is going to be completely anonymous. Only the highest level information is shared, and this includes the percentile score and industry, and no other information is shared, and it is not identifiable. That's
great, especially since one of the things we're talking about here is security. We want to make sure.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's try this one here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So especially because with a lot of these teams, and one of the things you're trying to address is this issue of siloed and information, and making sure that things are shared across teams and platforms. So this individual here is asking about sharing information. So can detailed information be downloaded in a PDF report that could maybe be sent to partners, other stakeholders, interested parties, etc.?
Yes, great question. We actually plan to include a share reporting feature, which will show up as a button on the individual dashboards. And through this, you can share reports via email, and the plan is to implement this in the near future, along with the ability to download and schedule report emails as well. So you can schedule to send these reports weekly or monthly or whenever you wish to.
Nice to have that access. Okay. And then this is a great one because, as we talk about all the time, nothing really stands still. Things are changing all the time. So are the scores changing over time as new workloads are added?
Yes, absolutely. So both the data security score and the subcategory scores are historically stored and trended over time. So the dashboard will show you how your score is trending over weeks and months as you keep adding new workloads, as you address your security gaps, and as you keep working on improving your security posture.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I think that's a great place to kind of wrap today. Before we close, I do want to ask you, if somebody is really excited about the Rubric Data Security Command Center, and I know that everyone in our audience right now is thrilled and ready to go, what is their first step? How do they get started here?
So this is a fairly new capability, and so we are offering an early access program. So if you're interested in getting started, or if you have any questions about this capability, please feel free to email me at srijana.putagunta@rubric.com, and we can go from there.
Amazing. Okay, well, I'm going to highly recommend that everybody reach out to Srijana after this event wraps here, because I think there's lots more to learn, and this sounds like a really exciting solution. Srijana, thank you again for this presentation, for including us in this announcement. It has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. Okay, and before we head out for the day, we have one more little bit of excitement to add to an already extremely exciting event. It's time for a prize giveaway. Today's winner of the $300 Amazon gift card is Che Reynolds of Arkansas. Che Reynolds of Arkansas, you have won a $300 Amazon gift card. So congratulations to Che. As always, we will be in touch about claiming your prize after the event. And with that, on behalf of the Actual Tech Media team, I want to thank Rubric for making this event possible, and a giant thank you to Srijana for sharing some really exciting innovations with us today. I do want to remind you, if you're looking to get started with the Data Security Command Center from Rubric, be sure to check out the resources in the handout section. I'm also going to post Srijana's contact here in the chat. Just one moment here. Okay, great. So there's Srijana's contact, should be in your questions console there, and you can follow up with her to make sure that you get signed up for the early access to this command center. All right, and hey, sending huge high fives and a special thank you to all of you for attending and asking some awesome questions today. These events are so wonderful to be a part of because they give us the opportunity to connect and explore innovative new ideas together. I know I've learned a ton from this discussion. I hope you all have as well. I can't wait to see you all at an event again soon, and I hope you have an absolutely beautiful rest of your day.